JAX and Janet's Donk Nation, greetings and welcome to your daily dose of donkey with Ginger. If it sounds like we're in a fishbowl this week, it's because Steelers Talk is coming to you from an unobscured location that we can't give out the secret detail to. Means no Gingy as we don't have party chat capabilities, but we do have Laskers in-house in studio. Laskers, how's it going?
Not too bad, and it's because we actually are in a fishbowl.
Yeah, pretty much that's the way it seems to be. Big win for the Steelers playing the Rams, getting out there looking kind of lost and confused for 3+ quarters, and a TJ Watt interception just seems to spark the offense. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Steelers win 24-17. I think that's the first time they ever beat the Rams on the West Coast.
That might be true, and I mean, we just need that spark from TJ Watt every week. I mean, that's asking a lot, but he is the heart of the defense.
Well, that's because there's not much else going on in that defense. We finally saw Joey Porter Jr. take over full time for Patrick Peterson, but all that meant was Levi Wallace is getting torched by Puka Nakua, Tutu Atwell. It didn't matter who was over there. They were going for touchdowns, it seemed, at will.
Yeah, he definitely is not a good cover corner, and we definitely need to start looking for another corner.
Yeah, that was pretty scary out there. I guess I'm not going to do any nickels or dimes or cash or trash this week because we don't have too many people there and I haven't had the time to prep it. So we'll just talk a little bit about the game, close it out. Rams ran the ball really well. Matthew Stafford, though, made some mistakes, Laskers. And at the end of the day, it was Kenny Pickett playing clean football. And the Steelers not getting one, not two, but 3 rushing touchdowns. And when you consider we haven't had a rushing touchdown all season, that was pretty good news to see.
That was definitely really good news to see. The only problem was, we didn't have a lot of yards rushing, but hey, if you get the touchdown, that's all that matters, really.
That's true. I mean, Najee would be like 4 yards on first down, 4 yards on second down. We give it to him on third down. He tries to break it outside and loses 3 yards. It was very discouraging to see him run with so little force out there, as he needs to be that ramming rod, that guy who wears down the defense. But it seems like he more wants to be that little finesse guy who runs sideline to sideline like Deontay Johnson without the speed.
I agree. It's very scary watching him try to run outside the numbers because he's not very good at it.
Speaking of Deontay Johnson, watching him back with that speed would have had a huge gain in the first half where the Steelers didn't score anything if it wasn't for a crackback block by George Pickens. And then both him and George Pickens can't stop running their mouth getting taunting penalties. These wide receivers need to stop being prima donnas because this offense cannot afford to shoot itself in the foot because this offense is designed that it needs not only first, not only second, but it needs to be successful on all 3 downs just to get a first down because we don't design plays to get first downs every play.
I definitely agree with that. And the other problem is this is going to be a hit at Tomlin. We've seen this over and over again since Tomlin took over with Brown. I mean, he did the exact same thing. He's not coaching the players to keep their mouth shut.
That's very well true. I mean, we look at this game, you look at the defense, you felt like you might have lost this game. You look at the game, you look at the offense, you feel like you might have lost this game. But there's just something magical about a TJ Watt turnover that gets things going. And we even saw emotion out of Matt Canada in the box. And say what you want, maybe it wasn't the greatest game. Some stupid penalties cost some stuff, but Canada finally calling a pretty decent game, showing some emotion. Maybe that's a catalyst going forward for the Steelers offense.
It definitely might be a catalyst. And, you can't hit Canada for penalties. That's not his fault. That's just players being players. But, at least he's showing some emotion and wanting to actually, win.
Yeah, that would be a nice thing to see. Keep this trend going as everyone wants to call us, just like when we were 11-0, the worst 11-0 team ever. I'll gladly take the worst 4-2 team rather than the best 2-4 team at this point, Laskers.
I agree with that because if you're 2-4, you're already hurting yourself pretty bad.
Winning is important in this league, and when I'm trying to think back, I have to say the game ball most certainly has to go to the LA Rams kickers, Maher, who's no longer on their team. Not only does he miss 2 field goals, he misses an extra point. My math isn't the greatest in the world here, but we won by 7 and he left 7 points on the field.
Yeah, I think that he should get the game ball.
Yeah, for sure. That's a guy who is well deserving of all the praise and accolades of Pittsburgh Steelers fans. And was that TJ Watt's first career interception?
I don't know since I don't have the stats in front of me. It really could be his first interception because I don't remember another one.
I think someone mentioned that. He didn't quite score the touchdown on it, which was sad. But watching Kenny Pickett, Najee Harris, and Jalen Warren all get touchdowns was a good sign to see. And, watching the offensive line outside of the first quarter not get killed was happy, happy trails. But Laskers, this week's the Jacksonville Jaguars, not the LA Rams defensive line. Jaguars can get after the quarterback.
Yeah, and that's a scary thing is because they definitely can. They cause a lot of turnovers, and so we got to be, you know, on our A game.
That's for sure. Any closing thoughts about the Rams game before we get on to the Jaguars?
I don't think I have anything pressing on my mind.
That's fair. So let's get into the Jaguars. Jaguars and Steelers have played now 27 times. This will be the 28th meeting. Pittsburgh has a losing record against Jacksonville, 13 and 14, kind of weird. At home, Pittsburgh 6 and 7. On the road, they're 7 and 7. We need to even that up. The biggest win though came by the Steelers in 1996, 25 points. That's 28-3. The Jaguars' biggest win was 21, and that was in 2017, 30-9. Longest streak, the Jaguars won 4 straight from 05 to 08. The Steelers 3 straight twice from 01 to 04 and 08 to 14. The current streak, the Steelers have won the last 2 meetings, including a COVID showdown in November with the Steelers coming in out on top at Jacksonville 27-3. Did the Jaguars win only like 1 game that year and it was the damn Colts and kept the Colts out of the playoffs?
I think so. That year they definitely were not very good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like the 2 seasons in a row where the Jaguars won 3 games between the 2 years, but they always beat the damn Colts at Indianapolis and always seem to cost them a playoff game. But this is not your same old ho hum humdrum Jaguars that have been post. Do you want to? Should we really call it post Blake Bortles? I mean, Bortles made their best playoff run, so is this the best team they've had post Blake Bortles going out there on the field?
I guess you could say that. I mean, it could also be the best team they've had. I don't know. I don't know how
They
to
had
put it.
some early ones in the 2000s with why can't I think of what his name is now? The running back, War 28, Fred Taylor. There we go. And this is a team they come in 9th in the league in offense, 16 in the league in defense. I believe they are one of the best teams in forcing turnovers, as they got guys like Cisco out there, Darius Williams, 3 interceptions apiece. This might be the type of game where Kenny Pickett playing that turnover-free football is the biggest asset the Steelers can have. If he turns into turnover Kenny Pickett, we might be talking problems.
Oh, we'll be definitely talking problems if he starts throwing picks for no good reason. We'll definitely be talking problems.
And you're talking a defense out there that has some good pass rushers, some good players out there. I believe Tavon Walker he's the young draft pick. He's a pretty good guy out there, has a couple sacks. But more importantly, Josh Allen, and no, I'm not talking Buffalo Laskers. Josh Allen, who says he should be known as the Josh Allen, is out there with 7 sacks already this year.
That's pretty impressive, and we did see him a little bit in that Buffalo game too.
He
Josh Allen
outplayed
versus
the other one.
Josh Allen versus Josh Allen.
That went to the defensive version in that game, I'd have to say. You also look out there, they have guys like Olokun, that middle linebacker, can absolutely fly, can absolutely tackle, is the type of middle linebacker the Steelers wish they could find. There are some matchup nightmares out there, but having Deontay Johnson back might be a really big thing in terms of the run game. And I know people don't want to talk about this, but not having Pat Freiermuth as the tight end is beneficial to this run game because, let's be honest, both Hayward and Washington are better run blockers than Freiermuth.
Yeah, Firemouth is not a very good run blocker at all, and it's actually definitely beneficial not having him out there.
Yeah, it's especially since we don't seem to want to throw the ball to him this year. I think he only has like 56 receiving yards in the 4 games he played. That's nothing to write home about. Now we get to the Jaguars offense. This starts and finishes, everybody wants to say, with Trevor Lawrence, right? Throwing it out there to the receivers, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, who's the tight end they got from the Giants? Evan Ingram, who's an absolute nightmare of a matchup. But honestly, this Jaguars offense starts and ends with Travis Etienne. If he has a good game, the Jags have a good game.
I agree with that for sure.
So, fun matchup here, Laskers. The running back taken before Travis Etienne is who?
Najee Harris.
And this is the matchup of the number 1 running backs from that class, the first rounders. Who is going to have the advantage? And honestly, my point is the biggest breakdown here is that is, whoever has the better game is going to win this game, in my opinion, out of those 2 running backs. The matchups can be broken down however we want. We can talk about the superstars on the Steelers' defensive pass rush, the Jaguars' defensive pass rush. We can talk about making turnovers. Maybe Minka shows up. And guys like Cisco, who have 3 interceptions for the Jags. We can talk about turnovers from Lawrence, turnovers from Pickett. But at the end of the day, if one of these 2 running backs and offensive lines comes out and establishes themselves, they have to be the odds-on favorite.
I agree, and actually, I think Jalen's going to have a bigger game than Najee.
Well, that could be good or that could be bad because we don't like to use Jalen when we're winning. So I'm not very comfortable with that being the taking point or talking point, however you want to say it, Last, because that makes me more so nervous than anything else. But really, is there any matchup that you're looking to outside of those that are going to change the way this game is played?
I don't think so. I think the running game is the biggest thing. You got 2 really good defenses that do like to intercept the ball. I think it's going to be a hard-nosed running game to figure out who wins this game.
That does seem like the way it should be, the way it is going to be. So I guess we got no Gingy, but we have Gingy's picks. Should we just go down into breaking down the AFC North games? And Laskers, you got to make up some ground. Bad picking last week.
I wing it every week.
Can't trust Gardner Minshew and the Colts to hold a lead, Laskers. Should know by now. Okay, so we'll start. We have Baltimore at Arizona, Laskers. Who'd you like in that game?
I'm going to go Arizona in this game.
Did you not watch the way Baltimore played last week? And last, because I have to call you out. Baltimore just shellacked the Detroit Lions, and you put Detroit above Baltimore in your damn power rankings.
Well, I didn't really pay that much attention.
It was like 42-6 last year. They got fine.
Well, see, the problem is you text me too late in the day to figure out. So I was doing that on my phone, looking at stats, not actually doing anything else.
Fair enough. Me and Gingy both like Baltimore in this game. Good luck, Laskers. We have Cincinnati traveling to San Francisco. News is, why can't I never think of his name? Brock Purdy is going to play in this game. So who'd you like there?
I'm going to go with the 49ers in this one.
Let's make it a clean sweep on the Niners. That's who everybody's got. We got Cleveland going to Seattle. Deshaun Watson doesn't like playing football, so he's not going to play football. Who'd you like in this matchup?
Oh, I'm definitely going Seattle in that one. I know I'm not making up any ground, but I'm going Seattle.
Gingy likes Seattle. I like Seattle too for the pure reason I like the home team and the west-east travel on 2 teams that seem very similar, and that's those 2. Although I guess one's more offensive and one's more defensive. Though the dang Colts scored almost 40 points on that haunted Browns defense. So the money games here, Laskers. We got Jaguars. We got Steelers.
I mean, I already told you I was going to have to pick the Jaguars because right now I'm going on a pretty good streak of picking the Steelers to lose when we win. So I'm going to go Jaguars 24, Steelers 21.
24-21. We got Gingy taking the Steelers. I don't have score on it. That don't matter too much. And then I like the Steelers 24-16. We have to keep some positive momentum going. We have to keep the team going. And to me, the X factor among X factors is a 2-parter. 1, Najee Harris has to outperform Travis Etienne. And 2, Dan Moore Jr. needs to show he can actually pass block against someone who has a bull rush. If that happens, I think the Steelers have a good chance in this game. Laskers, who's your X factor?
My X factor is going to be TJ Watt with 1 pick 6. And just so you know, I'm going to pick Gingy's score for you. 38-14.
Jesus.
That's a Gingy score right there.
I don't know about that. And it should be illegal to pick TJ Watt as your X factor because he's the Steelers' X factor 24/7 unless a special teams made is special teams is made. A special teams play is made. Well, Laskers, anything from the NFL that you'd like to talk about? How about the Tennessee Titans fire sale in their football team?
I didn't see that. I've been so busy at work this week, I missed that completely.
They traded Bynum to the Eagles to get back Terrell Edmonds. It sounds like they're getting rid of Henry. They're about to start their rookie quarterback. Tennessee has just thrown in the absolute white flag.
Hey, maybe we can pick up Henry for this week.
Uh, if they would pay for him, maybe that could be a time point. But any NFL stories that caught your fancy?
No, I didn't see anything this week that really intrigued me very much.
Me neither. Just a lot of boring ho hum humdrum stuff. Yay! Any thought that maybe Cam Hayward he did practice this week? Any chance he comes off the injury list and is a game wrecker in this game?
I'm still worried about him coming off of it, but if he does, he could have that potential. I mean, I think he's still not fully there, so I don't see him coming off the IL.
Do you think we have anyone who can replace Levi Wallace? Because if I have to watch him get torched by Christian Kirk all day Sunday, I might be a little mad.
I'm gonna pick Jordy to replace him.
He probably could do just as good of a job. He'll chase the people around. All right, Laskers, I guess that means it's time to say, do you have a shout out for last week?
I'm gonna give a shout out to Kenny Pickett. That was a good game for him.
That fourth quarter was the best fourth quarter I've seen the Steelers play in a long time. Touchdown, ran out the clock on 4 minutes. And yes, I intentionally didn't talk about the quarterback sneak where Kenny Pickett was short on 4th and 1. It doesn't matter because bad coaching led to the Rams not being able to challenge. When you're a coach and it's outside of 2 minutes, Laskers, what do you need in order to challenge?
You probably want a timeout.
You need a damn timeout, so don't waste your last timeout till it's inside of 2 minutes. All it does is save you maybe 4 seconds. Is 4 seconds really worth the chance of losing a game?
No.
Exactly. That's just bad coaching. So everybody who wants to cry, stop crying, start blaming your damn coach because that's where the responsibility lies. But my shout out last, because I love people who get their first of something or set a record. Well, Baby Herbig got his first sack last week. So Baby Herbig is going to get my shout out. And now it's time to let you know I am the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey on Twitch and Twitter, the X. Your daily dose of donkey with Ginger is a YouTube channel where you get all this fun content. Make sure you listen to the Bug Cap, the Power Ranking shows, and make sure you tune in early next week because I will give you our picks for the week, our X Factors for the week, but you will not hear a breakdown from Laskers and Gingy until Friday, in which case we'll get Gingy back and we'll break down not only the JAX game, but bonus football, aka fake football, Thursday night Titans game. My goodness gracious, we are jam-packed with football, Laskers. You get to lead them out.
I'm the Laskers everywhere, and even though Gingy's not here, he is the mutant Gingy everywhere. And wave him if you got him.
Here we go, Steelers.